This CD contains the opinions and thoughts of certain independent sales directors. The information shared with you by these individuals are their own ideas and strategies regarding the cultivation of a successful independent Mary Kay business. The independent sales directors hope that you find something in this CD to inspire you and to help you succeed in your own independent Mary Kay business. Naturally, your personal results may vary depending on the time and effort you choose to invest in your Mary Kay business. As with any business opportunity, various factors may affect the financial results that are achieved in your Mary Kay business. Therefore, there are no guarantees regarding same.
Independent National Sales Director Sherril Steinman is a woman who has realized a dream she had no idea she was destined to achieve. Now, with a soaring Mary Kay business for many years, Sherril says, "I just want to dig deeper." She gives some out-of-the-ordinary, but tried practices from some of Mary Kay's most successful entrepreneurs. It's about having a clear picture, then knowing how it's done. Let's listen as she unfolds the vision.
First of all, I have to tell you, this gives me goosebumps because I want you to know that even though I'm wearing this jacket, my heart, I am a sales director. I love directing sales. I love driving the mechanisms that take something from nothing to something that's great. I always laugh when I hear my accolades because it's not politically correct to have the accolades on one page and all the frustrations and the disappointments and the irritations on the other. Because let me assure you, the proportion is in direct balance. Don't ever think when you look at anyone on that stage that she has not shared the same balance of highs and lows that you share every day. Never. So I want you to know I was born and raised in the area where I currently live, which is Pigeon, Michigan, population 1,000 people. I love where I live. It is absolutely beautiful. One time someone from corporate came out to visit me and he said, "You have snowed this company." Because it sounds like you live in the tundra, which I do, but it's one of the most beautiful places in the United States. I'm married to my high school sweetheart, Lee. His mom and dad's farm is right next door to my mom and dad's farm, both raised on a dairy farm. Our family still, our farmers still have, well, they're past the dairy cows, but they still have those family farms. We were married in college. My first semester as a freshman, his as a sophomore. We got pregnant with twins. Thought one baby was unexpected, but we could pull through, and then along comes two. This starts becoming my experience of how to take an unexpected situation and see what can I do to turn it around to my advantage. So worked all the little odd jobs around college to get him through school with the promise that when he graduated that he would put me through school. Instead, he moves me back to Pigeon and pursues a career with something that never had anything to do with his degree. And I got a part-time job in a flower shop, and it was discovered that I'm a natural talent. I am really good at that. I have a level of creativity and imagination that is perfect for that business, and I thrived in it. And the woman was nearing retirement. She went through all the employees. There were 5 of them. They all turned her down to buy the flower shop, which should have been a clue. Now I'm going to show you how I don't pick up clues very easily. And when she got to me, I was thrilled. And she said, "Why don't you go down to the bank and find out if they'll give you the money?" And I want you to know that I was in my early 20s. I marched down to the town bank and asked for the money to buy that flower shop that had been on Main Street for 40 years. And lo and behold, they granted me the loan. And the only thing I had to put up for collateral was my father's dairy farm. Which he did. 5 years into that fabulous business, becoming a wedding consultant and living in a rural area and driving 2 and 3 hours. And my schedule was Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. I worked on funeral work and prepared for my weekend weddings. And then from Wednesday through Saturday, I did my weddings. On Sunday was my day off. Taught Sunday school. I also was the acting director of the Chamber of Commerce and did the town festival, which is happening today perfectly without me. And did 100 million things because I was that woman who thought she could do it all, and one day it crashed. Started crying, couldn't get out of bed, started hating people, wouldn't answer the phone, had a personality shift. It was what I would consider just plain ordinary burnout. It was just a horrible situation. Lee was really fearful for my mental stability, and he desperately wanted me to have some joy back in my life, so he came up with the idea that I should go to insurance school and get all my licenses, and then I could work with him in the insurance agency Monday through Wednesday, and then from Wednesday through Thursday I could go back to my wedding flower shop. I'd still be working as hard, but I would have a change of pay, change of view. And I did for 2 weeks, and then he fired me. Because that wasn't the key. And instead we went to a conference in Nashville, Tennessee, and there's where I met Karen Strom, who at the time was a pink Cadillac sales director, soon to be a national sales director, who our husbands had been associates prior and had told Lee all about Mary Kay, and he thought it was great. He was actually willing for me to do anything to change my attitude and my disposition. And at this conference for 3 days, this fabulous ex-model, when she'd walk in the room, people would stop talking, and I think that there's tons and tons of stories told about what I was at that time. You know, permed hair 1 inch short, and wore my glasses from 7th grade, and they were cat glasses, and they weren't chic. And I wore a dress, and nobody told me that the elastic that was to be worn over the shoulders, that it was to be over the shoulders. Instead, I wore it around my neck. And I mean, I want you to know, I was not the picture. And for 3 days, she courted me and told me all about Mary Kay. And it wasn't until the 3rd day, now you have to understand, I don't pick up clues very well, but it wasn't until the 3rd day that I said, oh, you want me to do Mary Kay? Karen, I don't think it'll work in Huron County. And I became a consultant on July 4th, 1978. And the day I signed my agreement, I knew that I would quit on December 1st. I don't know too many women that are specific on the day they start, the day they're going to send it back. But as God would have that fabulous plan for my life, and Lee said, well, what does she have to do to really make sure she knows what she's doing? And Karen said, you can't believe this, but someone cannot attend seminar, and I have an extra ticket, put her on a plane in 10 days and have her in Dallas. And I went to my very first seminar without ever having held my first skincare class. I had just learned how to do the 7-layer look from my adoptee consultant. 7 layers. You put 7 layers of foundation, the number 1 cream foundation, you layer it. And I want you to know, I look pretty doggone good because you got to remember how I looked. So, 7-layer look, and I came to Dallas without ever having traveled alone without my family. And there is where my story truly starts. Because I sat in that convention center looking at all sizes, all ages, all types of women. And I saw the look in their eyes, and I felt the renewed spirit and the enthusiasm and just the ability to dream and think what could happen if only. And I wanted that feeling again. That was what was going to heal my heart, and it did. And I walked away from there with a bushel basket of enthusiasm, and I went up to Karen and I said, now Karen, I don't know about this. And you know my life. You know how awful my life, how structured and how wacky my life is. But I want what those women have. What do I have to do? Karen said, first of all, I want you to know I believed Mary Kay when she said, if you shoot for the moon and fall short, you'll land in the stars. I was too dumb to doubt. And I believed her. And so on that last day, I said to Karen Strom, what do I have to do to have what these women have? And Karen said, now here, I'm going to give you 2 fateful things. Number 1, she said, now Sherril, I don't know how you're going to do this. You have got the most ridiculous schedule. I don't know how you're going to do it. She never set a plan out for me. I'm a firm believer you cannot set out a plan for someone else. Nor can anyone do it for you. Because no one has your specific situations. But if the picture is clear enough, and you have a heart, and you have a driving enough desire, you'll figure a way to make it work. The busiest woman finds time for her wedding day. The most remarkable, complicated, whacked out woman still ends up at the hospital have that baby. If we have a determination and desire deep enough, we'll figure out how to make it work. It's that the picture has to be clear enough. And then Karen said to me, here's the key. I'm going to tell you how it's done. 5 selling appointments a week, and always making sure that one excited product lover hears about the marketing plan. If you'll do that week in and week out, you can have anything you saw on stage, you can have anything you want from this company. And again, I was too dumb to doubt. I wanted that bushel basket of belief. I wanted that pink bubble. I wanted to embrace what I saw there. So I went home and I vowed to myself I would not question that advice. And I figured out how to do 5 selling appointments Monday through Wednesday every week. And I felt too insecure to ask, what is a marketing plan? I didn't catch that at that seminar. I didn't know what that was. And so I didn't want to look too dumb, so I never asked what it was. So I picked the most excited person from every class and asked her to be the assistant on the next class. Signed everyone. And only after Karen came to visit me the first time did she share with me what the marketing plan was, and kind of complicated the issue. But I want you to know that advice was good in 1978. That advice is still sound, still financially and fiscally sound. 5 selling appointments every week, and that you share the marketing plan with at least one person from every class, and you can have anything you want that this company has laying on the table. Absolutely anything. And anything short, you're bargaining for less. Why do we limit our abilities? I believe that we spend $1,000 value on 10-cent disruptions, disappointments, and frustration. Have you ever spent 2 days on a grumpy customer feeling so low that it kept you from calling and servicing 99% of the wonderful customers, wonderful unit members? Well, I have too. I'm in a pink Cadillac driving across a beet field to get to a little mobile home at the end with a DIQ, getting there to hear the TV on, knocking on the door, and she doesn't answer the door. And then feeling that empty pit in my stomach, getting in the car thinking, what did I do? What could I have done differently because this DIQ were so desperate to get her to finish? I know that I took that guilt on myself. Having spent hours of follow-up time with a new team member only to open the front door and see that her agreement is placed back in the screen door and saying, no thank you. Flying to a city and having 0 show up, but still having to pay the rent on the ballroom. Having offsprings choose not to continue with their businesses and thinking, what could I have done differently? Feeling that I was inadequate when I fell short on a bar pin or missing a luncheon and thinking, what makes me think I could ever do this thing? Sherril, what are you doing? Being stuck in a rut and feeling helpless, used up, and pretty sorry for myself. Finding that I'm at the end of a momentum curve. Time and time again, sucking my thumb and rehashing my situation because it felt familiar. There was a momentary feeling of comfort with sucking my thumb and feeling sorry for myself because it was familiar. I'd felt those feelings many times before. And while waiting for the world's pity, got pretty wrapped up in a me attitude. Well, how do we break that cycle? How is it that we can get to that point at the end of a momentum curve? You know, I'll tell you one line that has always helped me break that cycle, and that is this the moment? Is this the situation that's going to finally break me? Because the crisis that breaks you is your defining moment. Is this what I'm going to allow to define me and who I am and the strength of the woman that I am? No. And at that point, we have to be able to ask ourselves, what do I have to do that's opposite of what I'm doing right now? If I'm sucking my thumb feeling sorry for me, how do I have to turn that around? And gang, I'll tell you what, it's going from the me attitude to the them attitude. And Mary Kay has always said it. You know, the easiest way to attract people is to make other people feel important and put their goals ahead of our own. How can we reach that cycle, becoming that confident, self-assured woman, create a plan and stay on plan woman we've fantasized that we all wanted to be when we used to think, I want to be her when I grow up? Well, here is some really concrete things that you can do. First of all, it's all in visualization. Remember what I said earlier, if the picture is clear enough, you will find a way or make a way, over, around, under, or through. First, you have to define who that woman is that you want to be when you grow up. What does she wear? How does her hair look? How does she embrace health? How does she talk? How does she play? How does she treat her family and her friends and those that she works with? How does she live her faith? Who is that woman that you want to grow up to become? Once you've defined her, and I'm talking really honestly taking a thought, I don't want to be size 6, but size 12 would be nice. Really sitting there and saying to yourself, what is it that I want to drive the next few months to achieve personally? And then you put together a plan. You need a plan to plan on life, and you need a plan for your business. And first I'm going to talk about a life book. I was taught back in 1978 from an adopted sales director how to put together a life book. And at the time, sticker books were a big deal. Today it's scrapbooking, but you get some kind of a book that's sturdy enough that it can't be thrown away and it can't get too irritated, that you can always have it with you. And this life book contains the following concepts. It has 78 pages where you can daydream visualize your heart's desire. No words. You've got to be really careful. Limit the words. Words are something that the subconscious doesn't compute. It computes pictures. So here's the categories. A picture of the woman you want to develop into. What does she look like? Find a picture of that woman. That goes on a page. And try to have all kinds of pictures. If there's a gown you see in a magazine and you know that would be cool for a seminar night, even though it's a $20,000 gown and it's in some star magazine, too bad. I'll tell you what, they're all copied for $50 somewhere. Cut it out, stick it on that page. You want special earrings, you see someone here, put that picture together on that book. Who is that woman you're growing into? Number 2, family. Have a picture of how you want your home to be. You're just so angry at that kitchen door always keeps falling off, or that you've got bad carpet, or whatever the situation is at home and it just disgusts you and it frustrates you. Have a book that you can escape into of how that living room, how that kitchen, how that's going to look. Family benefits. Another page on family benefits that you've always wanted to take your child to piano lessons, or you want braces. You can get a picture of anything that you want for your family. Put it on that page. Travel, vacations, put it all in there. Then you need a page on financial. Is it dollars in a savings account? Is it a major bill gone? Take the bill, actually put it in there with a big 0 scratched over it. Take your savings passbook and put that you want $50,000 in there. Write that in there and put that on that page. Spiritual. What do you dream you could do through your church and through your commitment of what you could do? What things could you do to live your faith and live as that servant? Community. What could you do as a woman breaking the silence, the children's stories? What could you do in your community to do something for the Charitable Foundation or to do something for your local charities or your local cancer fund? And then your career. Those pages are filled with what you want to accomplish this year between now and leadership and career conference and seminar. Unit size. Those pictures where it's just a mass of people. And yourself, I come to seminar every year thinking this is my area. I visualize that. I turn around and the words we always think, man, if Mary Kay could do it with 9 women who probably didn't want to be there. You know, they always talk about Daylene. If you'll notice, the other 8 aren't here. Did anybody ever notice that? It's the same as the DIQ team. One held the course, the other vamoosed. Normal. And look at what she created. And then goals, bar pins, trips. Where do you want to go with Mary Kay? Where do you want this business to bring you? But it cannot be in words. It's got to be in pictures. Now let me tell you what to do with this book. You need to have this book, and it's got to always be in your hand. And here's how this book works. Every single morning when you're blurry-eyed and you still need that cup of coffee, you have to write into your time schedule 10 minutes while you're eating your cereal or drinking your coffee, or whether you're trying to get the kids up for school. You have to look at that book. It's like your escape. I know you're going to look loony at first to those around you, but you have to look at it early in the morning, and you have to be able to go through those pictures and be able to look at it those 10 minutes before dropping off to sleep. This is very important. The 10 minutes as you rise and the 10 minutes before you go to sleep. You have to do it a minimum of 21 days. 21 days. Beyond would be better, but 21 days is imperative. And eventually, you'll lose sight of the notebook. The notebook will fall under the bed. It'll get under the pack of bills. It'll end up going in a filing cabinet, and eventually it'll fade away. But let me tell you what those 21 days will do for you. I promise you within a 1, 2, or even a 3-year process that if you should find that notebook and open it up, 90% of everything in that notebook will have happened. I want to tell you why. You are releasing that dream mechanism that every human being is born with. I know you say to me, oh, but I'm not creative. Oh, I don't have any imagination. Yes, you do. The switch hasn't been turned on. Every child, will you ask any 4-year-old what they want to be when they grow up? And it's obvious that they have creativity and imagination. It's only somewhere along our adult life that the switch gets turned off. And you have to have something that trips it to be able to create, to open up that dream state in your brain. Everybody possesses it. So by vividly dreaming through, and I'll tell you what, you actually want to get to a place of euphoria where you can go into those pages and actually see yourself walking, like Lizzie McGuire, walking through those pages. If you can get that good with your subconscious of walking through those pages, I guarantee you'll get 100%. Now, I want to read you why. Conditioning the mind for success. There are 2 characteristics of our mind that affect how we live. The conscious mind perceives, evaluates, and decides. It's our reasoning. The subconscious mind contains the programs that control all the vital functions of our body. The subconscious mind takes information from the conscious mind and takes action. Thus, our self-concept may be limited due to false beliefs that are programmed early in our life. The brain will go on following the program or input from our moms, our dads, our sisters, our brothers, and the world around us. Their values and their strengths and weaknesses may not be correct for you. The subconscious mind has stored in it every program you have ever received from any source. It does not know the difference between true or false. It is designed to act on and duplicate the strongest programs. It never sleeps. That's why you have to look at it those 10 minutes before falling to sleep. It cannot take a joke. It takes you at your word. It is programmed through words, pictures, and emotions. Repetition reinforces the programs. Take me at my word. That visualization of this book has to be done in sheer pleasure, and that it's a fun escape for those 10 minutes to peruse those pictures. Researchers say that 77% of our programs are false, counterproductive, or working against us. Would you fly in an airplane with 77%, 50%, or 25% of its programs wrong? No, but we do it every day with our thought processes. So with that thought, now you can enhance this program. I want you to know, now my success story is, years later I found my sticker book. I want you to know that every single thing within 3 years had come to fruition in that sticker book, but one thing. And eventually that even happened. We went to Alaska. And we always are looking for the next super plan. Well, here's the next super plan. This is how you enhance it. Colored pictures and posters on your bathroom mirror, over your bed, on your fridge, on your garage wall. You know, you drive into the garage so that you can look around and see those pictures. And besides that, it's very curious to people around you when they start seeing those pictures. And this works the same way with your children and your husband. Dash of your car. You spend more than an hour many times here and there and everywhere in the car. Put those pictures on the dash of your car, scotch tape them right to the dash. You will even, at a time, forget they're even there. But the subconscious is always picking up the message. Cover of your date book, or in a frame picture on your desk. The mind accepts these as truth, and it will literally drive your subconscious toward these programmed directions. Now I'm going to give you one more case in point. How many of you have ever thought there was the boogeyman under your bed or on the other side of the shower curtain? And have you ever gotten on your knees and looked under the bed? Have you ever taken the shower curtain back real quick? Do you know why? Because somewhere you saw a TV show or you saw a program or you saw a movie and your subconscious picked up on it and it was replaying it for you in those moments of fright. That is how powerful your subconscious is. This program works. I vow, be too dumb to doubt me today, and that I challenge you to take care of that life book. Become a Cadillac sales director when you do 16,000 6 months in a row. You are a Cadillac woman. You just need to put together the Cadillac production. You are a woman of determination and confidence and personal fortitude. I just have to display it more. You state yourself as the woman that you will become. We are an area in the becoming. Every single woman, the day that she debuts, is an area in the becoming. A beautiful young new sales director out of the Fortenberry Slate area had a $2,500 May and came to our directors meeting last month to share that she had a $30,000 June. And we were all just in a gaga over it. And we asked her how it is. She says, you know what? I knew it would get me nowhere thinking about that $2,500 a month. So I embarked on my book 10 June telling everybody that I was going to receive a $7,000 check at the end of the month. And I would love for everybody to learn how they could get their $7,000 check. At the end of the month, she had held more than 10 classes, but she had signed 8, qualified all of them. And she produced over a $30,000 a month. She got a qualified gold medal, and she received her first $7,000 check. She professed it as truth. Now here's the other part of that. Here's that balance thing. Be aware of I'll try, I hope to. These are words that will stall out your magnificent subconscious. Because I'll try, remember Mary Kay always says it's just a squat word. You're in the squat. I'll try. You can't accomplish anything with a try. Try is a word that says you are gonna, but you're not there. And the subconscious doesn't know false from truth. So when you say, I'll try, I hope to, your subconscious, all of a sudden, it's like all the gears go, grind, it stops. I need to or I have to. Be careful of the words I need to finish production, I need to do this, I have to do this. Because that puts stress and fright into your mind. It signals the lack of to your subconscious. Instead, you have to replace it, as Mary Kay so beautifully said, I am, I will. Stating is already accomplished, which gives the subconscious direct orders to produce that which the body is asking of it. I want to creates passion, thrill, and desire. I have women all the time who say, how do you get that passion? How do you get that enthusiasm? By the want to. You have to profess, I want to. And the body will create the enthusiasm, the desire because of your desire. That's how you create that enthusiasm. Positive affirmations. Chad Helmstedter's got a book. Somebody help me. What to Say When You Talk to Yourself by Chad Helmstetter. Fabulous book, all about the mechanics of how your words color your life. A positive affirmation. Across the country, some areas are really comfortable giving a positive affirmation, others are not. But I'm going to give you a tip that I know changed Lisa Matson, and that is a positive affirmation tape. You don't have to share it with anybody. It's only your personal little affirmation tape. You listen to this 2 to 3 to 4 times a day in your car. Go to someone, have them make your positive affirmation on CD so that you could listen to it 3 to 4 times a day in your car, stating, I am kind, I am warm, I love people, people love me. Women everywhere are looking for me and want to know what I can do to do enough to enrich and change their lives. I am on time. I dress like a professional. I am an example that teaches my children. I love my 2 classes a day. I love meeting 2 prospects a day. I love sharing the marketing plan with them. I am a positive go-give, building a sales director, building a unit within a unit, working daily to build our unit to 100 by New Year's Eve, and inspiring my unit sales to produce $4,000 a week. And it goes on. Whatever you want to put on your tape is up to you. But Lisa Matson has often said she credits this one tape as to what propelled her from being a clerk at a farm and fleet to believing anything is possible. And at $1 Million Weekend, she actually played her first one. And I've got to tell you, we all laughed our guts out. But see, it didn't matter. Her subconscious didn't know any better. Her subconscious heard her words, her own, and you can't have someone do it for you. That's another thing. People always say, will you do a tape for me? No, honey. Your subconscious doesn't recognize my voice. Subconscious only recognizes your inner voice. It has to be your voice on that tape, regardless of how corny it sounds, gang. Nobody's supposed to listen to this but you. And you'll start to ignore it. It'll fade out. You won't even hear the tape after a while. But your subconscious will hear every single word. It will increase the drive into the direction that you are programming it to. That's a second most powerful thing that I can share with you. So what's the first steps you need to do when you leave here? Putting your new success plan into action. 1, realize that no one can create a plan for you as you cannot create a plan for people. But if the goal or the picture is clear enough, the how-to will appear. Creating by this Sunday a picture book and daring yourself to look at it twice a day for 21 days. By spending 10 minutes every morning and every night feasting on the pictures, mentally living within the pictures and letting yourself actually feel the pleasure, the joy of being in that photo, I can guarantee you, you will receive all that's in that photo. Number 2, as Gloria Mayfield would say, trash your house, car and dash with pictures of your plans and wishes. Number 3, make an affirmation tape and listen to it as you drive yourself around in your New Year goals and state it as accomplished. 4, probably the number one, it should have been number 1, pray and thank God daily for the blessings that have already been received. An attitude of gratitude. You know what? He loves us unconditionally. He only asks us to just talk back. Thank Him. Thank Him for putting you in this place of growth and renewal and all the possibilities that be. Lord, you have put me in the place that I am supposed to be, so I'm ready for the next momentum curve. Thank you, Lord, for all that you're going to give me today. Thanking Him in advance. Number 5, stating and professing your goals already achieved. Allow your unit to hear you where your Mary Kay family is committed to be within these next quarters. And 6, decide to accept the rules of the Mary Kay success plan. Okay, now here's my rules. Okay, 5 classes, and asking one person from every class can put you in both courts. 5 selling appointments a week, and sharing the marketing plan with at least one MK-loving person at every class can put you in both courts. 50 people in your unit can put you in Grand Prix. Cadillac production comes from 80 to 100 unit members. 125, maybe 130 now, $500,000. 150 to 165 trip. 200 million. Here's the next part. 20 stars, you'll be in the $200,000 unit club. 30 stars, you'll be in the $300,000 unit club. 50 stars, $500,000. 100 stars, $1 million. Pretty much comes out to that every single time, every time you start to look at that. Here's another. I've always looked at Red Jacket Consultants. So it's the core of the stability of my unit. 10 Reds can always put you in Cadillac. So here's some other things you can do. Number 1, develop a Red Jacket program. We have Red celebrations at our meetings. We have a Red Rush team call, which means that if you produce $2,000 as a Red team at any position, I give you a conference call where I give a ridiculously silly sales challenge where they can win a small prize so that the Red has a reason to work with people for the next 10 days because it would be silly not to win it. I do that so that the Red has a reason to build team spirit and to help girls win, not just her, but her team. We have Red luncheons, and another fabulous idea circulating in my area is the Red Makeover Treat. At every step when you reach star recruiter, team leader, and future sales director, they treat her to a morning of getting her hair styled, not necessarily cut because a lot of women are sensitive about that, but we have them styled and give them a before and after makeover so that at every step of the way they see a different woman in the mirror. They see a level of improvement. Do you not agree? As a consultant, you wanted to look like a sales director. Well, we got to be a sales director and we thought, now I want to look like a future executive. Then when you get to be a future executive, you look at the national and think, oh, I just want to be a national. And when you get to be a national, you think, you keep looking at the next step, thinking, what's the next step, right? And so, number 4, consistency programs. You don't need to give a prize for consistency, gang. The Star Consultant Program is truly the consistency program, and they provide the most beautiful gift. And I can't tell you time and time again that you have to remind Star Consultants that they have to call in and order their gift. See, it wasn't the gift. They were looking for the level of success. So I learned it's important that in a 6-month consistency program, there should be an event to celebrate it. So at the end of my consistency program this year, we're going to the distribution center, stay overnight, and we're going to go out Christmas shopping. So it's an event. We're going to go do something. So they can spend time with you and you can spend time with those consistent women because Mary Kay always said, put a piece of paper over all the names and see who's the most consistent. Those are the women that will literally build your future area. So I want to spend time with my consistency club. Consistent hostess programs, dreaming up something that the unit can latch onto and provide their hostesses. Get your programs in place so that you present a unit that someone would want to be in. Because here's what I hear. I hear people saying, I need to get a unit first. Well, gang, you just sent your subconscious mind a stall reaction. I have to get a unit first. So the subconscious says, okay, back off, calm down. She doesn't have a unit first, so let's just stall this out. Number 2, you made yourself sick. I have to get a unit first. Oh my gosh, I'm sick. I've already done that once. I gotta do it again. Number 3, you don't have to plan for status quo. It's already status quo. I hear people say, but the girls in my unit right now, that won't appeal to them. Yeah, right. What you have to do is you have to plan for the 5 to 10 new people that are going to come in your unit that you're going to be blessed with over the next few weeks. That's who you're planning your programs for. Understand that a truly sharp woman that we all crave will not appreciate the lack of direction and plan when she gets into your unit. She wants to see a set plan of success so that she can take it one step at a time and that you can present. Those programs are basically the sum total of the respect and honor you give your unit. The sharpest woman will instantly know if you're blowing smoke up her skirt. When your programs are in place, they provide a stable, clear path for new and existing alike. Your current unit will be moved by the new stars that move beyond them. Followers always want to follow the followers. And right now, if your star does nothing, that's why the unit is doing nothing. You need 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 brand new people to have someone emerge that will take the programs and run with it. And because your unit is of like mind, they will follow the leader. It's fascinating how that works. A successful woman wants a clear path to work on. And lastly, yes, we have to decide on how we're going to play the cards we're dealt. Gang, I hear people all the time, but you don't understand. Oh, yes, I do. This whole thing is a classic example of playing the cards we're dealt, but understanding that we're the ones that shook the deck. We're the ones who deal the cards. So by thinking that way, thinking, okay, this is what's been dealt today, what am I going to do with this? How am I going to take what's been given me and how am I going to turn this around and make this a success story? And I want to finish with this. Arlene Lennar shared the story at Leadership. This moved me. This will stay with me to the day I go to heaven. About a father and a little boy walking through the woods. And the little boy runs ahead and he stumbles and he falls and he says, ouch! And in the far distance he hears, ouch! And then he says, who's there? And in the distance he hears, who's there? And then he says, stop that! And he hears the voice come back and say, stop that. He says, I hate you. And the voice he hears come back say, I hate you. And he starts to cry, and he cries like his heart's broken. And his father catches up with him, and he says, son, what's the matter? And he says, Daddy, there's somebody really scary out there. He says, there is. And the father says, hello. And then the voice comes back and says, hello. And the father says, how are you? And the voice comes back and says, how are you? And he says, you're wonderful. And the voice says, you're wonderful. And the father says, I love you. And the voice comes back and says, I love you. And the little boy with wonder in his eyes looks up at his daddy and he says, Daddy, who is that? And his father says, son, a lot of people are going to tell you it's an echo. But the truth is, son, it's called life. Because, gang, whatever you send out will come back. And I hope that you will decide to win by leadership. You have 5 months to book 10, to hold 50 classes, to be on that Book 10 challenge, to be able to say all these brand new people that you've added to your personal unit within a unit. Developing 30 for a unit within a unit. Building to that magic unit size of 50, 75, 100, 125 by New Year's Eve. This is what I ask you to decide on the plane home. Decide to celebrate an event of joy and fun with those consistent, your future will be the winners of that consistency club. Design a red club that will add stability and strength to your unit. Dream of that DIQ so that there will be the power of 2 minds instead of just one. Become a Cadillac woman so the Cadillac is an eventuality rather than something so far in advance. You become a Cadillac woman and the Cadillac will arrive. Put together your photo book, your positive mental tape. Trash your home with your dreams. Feel the joy from working the success rules. And then I will have the honor and the privilege of celebrating you and the benefits that will come to you for years to come. And I promise you, I give you this advice, not based on anything in a book, but I want you to know that these have been the sum total of my life experiences. So God bless.